Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Well, the red light is back. Welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. It is 7:08, 32 degrees this morning, so it's chilly, but it's getting up to 57, and we're going to be up near 70 this week, so looking forward to that. March 7th, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio, streaming live at WOBMAM.com and on the Radio Pup app. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. And our next conversation is, I'll tell you what, this is an educational one for me. I'm not going to lie. We have Ted Gooding, CEO and president of Ocean Inc., and Meg Sanders, VP of, I'm going to mess it up, VP of Childcare at Ocean Inc. Thank God for LinkedIn. I can pull that right up. There we go. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank
All
you
right.
for inviting us.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming. Otherwise, I would have to talk for another hour. Nobody wants that. So you know what, Ocean Inc. I am not going to lie. I have been here now just about 3 years, and I've had very limited exposure to Ocean Inc. So this has really been a learning for me in over the last few days since I actually saw you at an event at a Rotary event for I guess that was for pre-K. What was it? Pre-K Now or yeah?
Pre-K Our Way.
Yeah, Pre-K Our Way. That's it. All right. So Ted, why don't you start off by telling us a little about Ocean Inc. Give us the high level overview.
Okay, thank you. Ocean Inc. is a nonprofit, community-based organization. We've been in business for 50 years in Ocean County. We have several product lines that we cover throughout the county, and ones that we're very proud of, including childcare, which is our largest. We have 600 kids in our program between Lakewood and Barnegat. We do housing, first-time home buyer programs. We currently rent about 170 homes within Ocean, Monmouth, and County as we speak. Our product lines include first-time home buyers, whereas we will help families to buy their first home. As a matter of fact, Ocean was the first organization in the state of New Jersey that actually accepted mortgages for Section 8 for families who could not afford to make a down payment on their first homes. We also do clothing and food distribution throughout the county. We do energy assistance, which means that we will help people pay their utility bills. We also do weatherization, which means we will help families weatherize their homes with heaters, hot water heaters, insulations, roof, gutters. We also do programs in which we mentor young families coming up. We do scholarship programs. So our stroke is pretty broad in our county. Our enterprise has grown significantly over the last 21 years, and we are seeking to do even more. We were the primary provider of SRAP benefits in Ocean County after Superstorm Sandy. And now we're doing LMI, which is to help families who were affected by Sandy to make the next steps in terms of making themselves whole. And we also do intensive case management, which means that we're now working with folks who have come on very hard times and have mental illness problems to try to get them settled. In other words, we try to place them into homes by themselves, help pay their utility bills, their rent, in order to help make them more self-sufficient. So the Ocean Inc.'s footprint is pretty broad when it comes to helping the families in our county. We usually see about 25,000 people a year in Ocean County. And those families are the poorest of the poor. I often say that if a family qualifies for our program, they cannot have a job at McDonald's. So we are the poorest of the poor. We reach out to help anyone who needs assistance in many, many, many venues. And the enterprise is continuing to grow. The enterprise recognizes and tries to mitigate the issues that affect those families that are least at this point have the least benefits to their growth, and help them become more self-sufficient.
So Ted, I'm just because when I first came back to town a couple years ago, there was a famous discussion at the time that said from some of our local policymakers that we don't have a poverty problem in Ocean County. So you would be somebody that would say that's probably not the case, right?
Well, that's an oxymoron if you've ever seen one, because we have a significant poverty problem in our county, and since the storm has gotten worse,
right?
Because a lot of folks have left and didn't come back. Human capital is at a premium these days, and especially qualified, and housing is a huge issue. And one of the things that Ocean has focused on in the last couple of years, we've always done and built affordable housing. We are a licensed builder in New Jersey. But what we found was that many families could not afford to pay the rents that conventional housing stock would demand. So we looked at micro-housing as an initiative. And in that product area alone, we expect that we will be able to hopefully build some 200 units in the next few years in Ocean County. We're now before several planning boards for approvals. We've gotten some approvals already in Atlantic City, where we've started to bid out those products down in Atlantic City. We've been approached by Monmouth County as well, and Cape May County, we're trying to work down there to get those folks in line as well. But we know that housing is a huge issue, and I get phone calls often from seniors who are saying that I'm aging out. What they mean is they're in their 80s, and they have a youngster that cannot necessarily make it on their own and can't take care of that 2,000 square foot house because they're by themselves, and they want something that they can manage. So we believe micro-housing is an alternative to that. And that way we can keep the rents at a very reasonable price, somewhere between $450 and $700 a month.
Right.
For a 350 square foot house or something. 3,500 square. Yeah.
That's a unit of 10.
That would really be a oxymoron, wouldn't it? But we were looking at somewhere between 350 and 600 square feet, 1 and 2 stories, depending on the situation.
Right.
So we believe this is an alternative to what we have today. We believe it works. We believe that we will be successful. And as I said, some communities have already bought into it. Atlantic City, for instance, has already given us funding. As a matter of fact, they funded 2 homes down there already that we're getting ready to build.
Okay.
And we're working with some churches to build other micro-housing in that community, and Ocean County as well.
Okay. So, Meg, why don't you talk to me? You are the VP of Child Care at Ocean Inc., so I'm hearing a lot about housing. I'm hearing a lot there. So how does child care fit in?
Well, as we all know, early education is the best intervention to make children ready for school success. And our job at Ocean Inc., especially in the Head Start program, is to get children ready to be successful and contributing members to society. The difference in Head Start is that children and their families are involved. We encourage and applaud parents to participate. We ask that children and their parents come in and they volunteer. We are looking for the support of the parents to help that child grow and develop. Currently, we serve 600 children throughout all of Ocean County. We have 7 locations that serve children, and we have a variety of options. The traditional preschool program, which runs 3.5 hours a day, modified, which runs from traditional school hours, 8 to 3, and then we have some extended day, which is 7:30 to 5:30 at night.
Okay, and you're working with at-risk youth for the most part?
Yes, families have to be income eligible, means probably within the poverty guidelines to apply. We also do take special needs children as well, and we are very lucky to partner with many public schools to do a shared placement with special needs children.
Gotcha. And so really this is about, from your end, it's really about stopping the cycle, right? It's about, the rest of the team is focused on how do we help folks that are already in the system and already in the cycle, and really where you are is trying to keep that next generation from being in the same place down the road.
Absolutely.
That's really so fantastic. Ted, it seems like you guys have a pretty all-encompassing strategy here to kind of attack it. So that's great. When we come back, because we're already up against our first break, when we come back, I'd like to know how both of you got involved in Ocean Inc., because between you, and I do the math in my head, we have 38 years of experience at Ocean Inc. So that's unbelievable, but we want to learn more about that. So Ted Gooding and Meg Sanders from Ocean Inc. Be right back after this.
Rush Limbaugh today at noon. More Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin coming up next. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Make a difference at the Jersey Shore. 732-505-1160. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin here with Meg Sanders and Ted Gooding from Ocean Inc., talking about poverty, frankly, at the Jersey Shore. So, Ted, you've been 21 years
Absolutely.
21 years.
Yeah.
So the face of Ocean Inc. So how did you end up at Ocean Inc.? What does your path look like?
Well, I was a part of a hospital administration down in Atlantic County for about 20 years. And when I left the hospital, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was a young man retiring. And I said, let me find something that I think I can make a difference in the community. And Ocean Inc. just happened to have an opening. So I applied for it, and I thought it was actually, when I said Ocean Inc., I thought it was on the beach somewhere. Right. But when I drove up and I saw the building that we were in, and I said, wow, this is an old post office, and the doors are falling off and so forth. And I applied for the job and got it. And once I got there, I looked at where we were, and I looked at the issues that were facing the community and said, this is something I think I really would want to do. My compassion has always been people and children. And this job had that opportunity to actually serve both. And so I was offered a position. I took it. And we have grown rather rapidly since that time, which was back in 1994.
So I'm not, but you don't want me to hold you accountable for the growth of poverty here at the Jersey Shore, right? I mean,
absolutely not.
Just because you've grown, that's not your fault, though, right?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not.
All right. So Meg, you are a short timer.
Yes, I've only got about 17 years.
Only 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never catch Ted at this rate, just so you know.
No.
So what is your story?
Well, I started my career as a public educator and took some time off to begin my family, and then thought I really wanted to come back into the field of education, but I wanted to make a difference. So an opportunity opened up at Ocean Inc., and I've worked my way through the organization. I started out as a family partner, became a coordinator, and have worked my way up and love every minute of it. To go into the classrooms, to see the children, to meet the families, and to know that you really make a difference is a rewarding reason to get up every day. So
that's a great point. So Meg, can you give me an example of maybe a youngster who you've made a difference with, who you've seen a difference in? I'm sure you have lots of examples of that.
There's so many.
Is there one that kind of stands out?
Well, I can tell you that we've had. Part of our initiative also is to talk about healthy eating. We serve healthy meals at our program, and obesity is a is an epidemic within children. So for us, the opportunity for children to experience healthy eating and to see the physical changes that come from being active and engaged really makes a difference. The obesity rate dropped, I think, 14% within 1 year, that we were very, very lucky to do. We're also very thankful for partners like the Lakewood Blue Claws, who we practice healthy walking and exercise. And as our culminating event, we get to take a walk around the inside of the Blue Claw Stadium and wave to everyone. It's a great way for the children to wrap up this year of healthy eating and healthy exercise.
So what do you know about cruciferous vegetables? Anything?
They're very good and healthy for you.
Oh, good. That's
yes.
good. I had no idea what a cruciferous vegetable was until Tom from Bricktown earlier this morning dropped some knowledge on us. So it's good. All right. So did you say that child obesity has dropped
within our organization? Yes.
Really? So what were the numbers on that again?
Well, we dropped about 14%.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And go ahead.
I think it's really important to also emphasize the fact that because we knew childhood obesity was an issue, we decided to make it as part of an employee objective as well.
Okay.
So what we're seeing is actually our staff, in many cases, are losing 20 to 30% of their body weight over a period of time, which we absolutely, without question, transfers to the kids.
Absolutely.
Healthy eating with our staff also encourages healthy eating with our kids. And we actually have, every month, we recognize staff who have lost significant amounts of weight.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's a great program.
That's great. I may need to come work for you guys. 20 or 30% of my body weight sounds pretty good to me. We are talking to Ted Gooding and Meg Sanders, Ocean Inc. When we get back, I'm going to give them each a magic wand and ask them how they're going to make an impact on the sector. They have it easy though, because there's so many things that can be positively impacted. Learning a lot here this morning on Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back after the news. See you soon.
Coming up next, the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River. It's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 7:35. 32 degrees, get up to 57 here on March 7th. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio, and streaming live at WOBMAM.com and on the Radio Pup app, 732-505-1160 if you want to join the conversation. We are here with Meg Sanders and Ted Gooding from Ocean Inc., who, by the way, so not only do they have 38 years of experience between them, but we were talking about healthy eating, right, and healthy living, and I think between them, was it like 250 pounds or something between the two of you that they've lost? I mean, this is
We've
like
lost a person.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they are. This is and so I thought it was just because Ted doesn't pay his team anything, but Ted assured me it's not that. Although you don't get into nonprofits to be rich, we all know that. So, talk to me about this project that you have, Project Healthy Smile, because we were talking in the break about this, and this is very interesting and something. You guys both kind of laugh because I didn't know what we were talking about there, and so why don't you drop some knowledge on our listeners?
Well, quite a few years ago, we started an initiative to improve the dental health of the children in Ocean County through getting funders and local politicians to be aware of the difficulties that our families had when they were looking for dental services. So we had applied for several grants, got some funding, because baby bottle rot is such a large issue where children have damage to their baby teeth, which affect their adult teeth as they grow in. And we were looking to partner with some local dentists and the Board of Health, Ocean County Board of Health, to make a difference and improve the dental health. So Dr. Winokur has been very generous with his time and his efforts and his staff to assist us through that and provide services and dental care for our children.
All right, so good. So you mentioned the term there, though, that I didn't know, and maybe So although my wife would tell you most of the time if I don't know something, that's not indicative of the rest of the world knowing it because it's probably just me. But you mentioned bottle rot. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what that is?
Oftentimes, it's difficult to get children to go to sleep, so we give them the comfort of a bottle, oftentimes filled with milk or juice. And as the child sleeps, the milk and juice begin to decay the teeth. That's why pediatricians recommend if you have to send your child to bed with a bottle, it should be a bottle of water, as water will not cause decay in the mouth.
Right. Or scotch.
Well, right. Works a whole lot faster, but not recommended by the American Academy.
We had the kids Macallan 18 a little bit early on, and we started with good stuff, though. I think that's okay, right?
Yeah,
no, okay.
Sure.
I'm just joking, please. I don't want Dyfus at my house again, please. That was a joke. Okay, so we did give you your magic wands in the last break, so now you have the ability to make a change just by waving that wand. So, Meg, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
What would you do?
Well, I would, if there was that opportunity, I would allow the opportunity for more children to be able to be exposed to quality early childhood in Ocean County. We have some excellent programs, in addition to Ocean Inc., obviously, but for everyone who needs the opportunity to get that opportunity for early education.
And so why? What do you think when you say early education? You're talking about before kindergarten, right?
Before kindergarten,
right?
And
so what is in your mind? What's the large advantage? What's the big advantage of that kind of early childhood education?
Well, it gives them a firm foundation for when they go to public school and gives them the opportunity to build those social skills, which oftentimes, let's face it, public school has become, a very structured and very stressful opportunity. And the social dynamics are the biggest part that we build within Head Start, as well
Right.
as the academics. And that social part makes us good citizens and good people of the world.
Right, and I think a lot of us take for granted the fact that all our kids are growing up in this Shangri-La environment where they're all getting great education and they're learning how to interact with other children. And frankly, what you guys see, I'm sure, every day is families that don't have that kind of dynamic. And so whatever we could do systemically to give them more of a background early on would be to their advantage as they get older and start to move their way through regular through school. Great. Okay, so that's good. Ted, it's on you.
Okay, if I had a magic wand, I'd make sure that everybody had a safe, clean, affordable place to stay. Housing was and still is one of the more primary issues in our community. Affordable housing, of course, is one of the largest needs that we have. We know that through the point-in-time survey that there are families out there and veterans and seniors who have incomes, but they cannot afford the $1,400, $1,500 a month rent. So if we could find a way, which we have identified a way, to mitigate that by providing homes that are affordable, something that provides supportive services. One of the issues that we're finding in our community, particularly since Sandy, is the mental health issues that are facing our community, and they are huge. We're trying to address them through several resources, and including the mental health community. In some cases, we're making a difference. In many cases, we're not.
Right.
We know that in every community, there's land that's available for build that's owned by the community that if were donated to a nonprofit, they could have built affordable housing. They can also find a way for foundations and other lending institutions to help us to build these units. And we are very comfortable with the notion that needing a place to stay is not something that we want anybody to have to experience in their lifetimes. We want to be able to provide them a place to stay. And since Sandy, we've seen that particular rise increase. We've lost a lot of our human capital, but some wants to come back because we still need them in order to provide jobs in a resort, primarily a resort community. But microhousing is a huge project that has taken footing in the West Coast more so than the East Coast. But we believe that we can be a pioneer in that, and we have started to build collaborations with other nonprofit providers to help us not only to build these units, but to also help us occupy these units by families that need them.
Great. And I would tell you, listen, any economic study that's been done of the Jersey Shore when talking about how we can make a positive impact has always called out that our two major stumbling blocks, excuse me, of creating a more diverse workforce here at the Jersey Shore. Our two greatest stumbling blocks are housing that are commensurate with our current jobs and our transportation infrastructure. We are the largest commuter county in the state. And that does not lend itself to folks that are working, frankly, minimum wage jobs. Right? We just don't have the housing that avails itself to them, and that creates a whole different issue about how we have housing for our young people, how we have housing for our folks that are just starting out. Not to mention the folks that Ted and his team really are talking about, which are the poor, who even are the working poor, who just don't have the money necessary to create the life that Bernie Sanders would create for them. So last point, if somebody wanted to learn more about Ocean Inc. and maybe how they could volunteer or pitch in, how would they go ahead and do that?
Well, we have a very active webpage. It's oceaninc.org, and you can also call us at 732-244-5333, and we can direct you to whichever area you'd like to work in. Most of our volunteers come through our child care division. We do accept volunteers based on state standards that they have to qualify in order to be there.
We provide them with
but we provide them with training and in order to do that. And we also, in our giveaways, we give away clothing, food on a regular basis throughout the county and throughout our communities that we serve.
Right.
But we are also always looking for folks that are willing to help us as bus aides or even drivers on some of our transportation systems.
Great. Ted Gooding, Meg Sanders, Ocean Inc., doing great work at the Jersey Shore. Unfortunately, they're a growth organization. We need to put an end to that at some point. But thank you for all that you do for our community, and we'll talk to you soon about how we're making progress on that micro-housing, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank
awesome.
you for having us.
Be back right after this.